Hey G fans, Goji Fan 93 here, and I am here with.
All right, I'm gonna remember this. Plutonium 2356. I promise myself I wouldn't forget it this time. I promise I wouldn't forget it this time.
and we are the directors of Godzilla: Return of Spacegodzilla, which is a part of the Kenshin fan trilogy of Godzilla fan films, which was made by Nico Molnar here. If you guys don't know, Nico Molnar is Plutonium 2356.
Yes.
So I try to make that known because a lot of people think that this is my film series. It's not. I'm helping with all the stuff, doing like producing and editing and all that. But the brainchild is here with me, and we're going to be talking about the second film in the Kenshin trilogy, which I've already talked about, Godzilla: The Return of Spacegodzilla. Now this movie, I have a lot of pride for.
Oh, I know. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I am.
Definitely. This I would say is a turning point when it comes to. I mean, I always look at like from my point of view of wanting to be an entertainer and a content creator. This was a turning point for me of wanting to have more professional looking stuff and storytelling and all that. I mean, this was a big learning experience. But I guess we'll start from like Plutonium. Like, you wrote the script, and how long did it take to write the script? It wasn't that long. You wrote it like right after World Apocalypse.
In reality, it's honestly like maybe a couple, like 3 or 4 weeks of work, but it took. But for me to actually find the I don't know. I guess what word do I use? To find the motivation to continue working on it continuously every single day.
Yeah.
It honestly seemed it. Well, I didn't finish it. I finished it. It made it seem like I finished it. Like 3 months. It took me 3 months to finish it. It was only like what 2 or 3 weeks of work.
Yeah.
I was just lazy.
But I remember, like, I remember when we finished World Apocalypse and you literally had the script ready in like a couple weeks and you're like, here you go. And I remember I was like, look, I ain't going to do another one if I have to do game footage.
Yeah.
So I made the executive decision, and the producer, as a producer, I had to make the decision of, look, if we're going to make a second one, we got to have some like different way of doing the footage.
Yeah.
And so it came with animation. And boy, was that a good idea.
It was a great idea. An amazing idea.
Because honestly, I think if it wasn't for the animation and step up in quality, there wouldn't be a trilogy. Honestly, like I feel like there wouldn't even been a second one because I wouldn't have done it. I was just like, nah, I don't want to do another one like that. But like World Apocalypse.
This movie would be like extremely advanced, like just to even attempt it at a video game.
Well,
like use video game footage.
And that's the thing is, I look at it and I still to this day, even though we're working on, like, as of this recording, we're working on, Wrath of the Hybrid, but I still look at Return to Spacegodzilla. I'm like, wow, I cannot believe we made that from scratch, And
obviously we had like a whole like production team.
Oh yeah, well,
we cannot leave him out of this.
Oh no. Well, of course not. I was going to get to that. World Apocalypse was just me and Plutonium. That was it. It was just a two-man team. But with Return to Spacegodzilla, we had 2 animators come in, and we had a full voice cast. So we were like, look, I'm not going to do the voices again, so we're going to get some people.
There was no way we were pulling off the voices.
Yeah, exactly. And also, for those of you who are wondering, the film was made on 2 engines. It was made off of the Source Filmmaker engine, which, like this, if you guys don't know, Source is the engine that runs like the Half-Life games from Valve, like Half-Life, Counter-Strike, Left 4 Dead, all that good stuff. And then the other part, which actually you're watching right now with Godzilla's spikes and all the monster scenes, that is made with MMD, which is called Miku Miku Dance, which is you can get just as good quality with the animation, but it takes a lot more work. You have to get a lot more frames in to get a smoother animation. So that's why when you see the monster scenes, things look a little bit more cartoonish and things look a bit more robotic. It's just because that's how the engine worked. Now, the amazing and talented people that helped us make this become a reality was a Sousa Productions, Alex Sousa, who worked on the monster scenes, which was the MMD stuff. And then for the human scenes, James Myers, who unfortunately right now has not made anything. I haven't talked to him in a very long time because we wanted to bring him back for Wrath of the Hybrid, but unfortunately he was going back to school and he had other responsibilities that he had to attend to. So I haven't really heard anything from him since. I hope he's doing well. But for what he did for us with the human scenes was just like right now what you're watching, that's Vorticia, and I mean it's just the animation is just awesome for what it was at the time. And this film was released in 2015. So
2015.
Yeah, so 2 years after the first one, and I think we're keeping that trend because Wrath of the Hybrid is going to be in 2017. So it's kind of like every 2 years we're able to pump these out, but. So yeah, I mean, we just had, a fabulous, talented team behind this, and it was just, I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, it was great, and also it was cool because we got to work with these YouTubers that we knew, that we watched.
That was probably the coolest thing of this film.
Right, exactly, and it was just this collaboration of talent. Now, on the voice acting side, this was one of the really fun parts, especially for me as a producer. Like, the thing that's fun about it is having to set up time, schedule things, and get all the voice actors together, making sure everybody has what they need, making the script and all that. So the voice cast that we had for this film was Danielle Faye, who voiced two characters. She voiced Lieutenant Amy and Queen Vorticia, and I have to say her performance just blew it out of the water.
I know,
mean,
it was just crazy.
Amazing. And then we had James Hale, which is Diego Doom, which you all know. He does figure reviews. And then we had Rich Iso, Mr. Fresh Vinyl, who played as... James Hale played as General Cousins. And then Rich Iso introduced us to a new character to the Kenshin universe, which was Steve Martin Jr., or Junior, I should say. And then we had Rob Rosado, who also introduced us to a new character, Yuki, which I think, Plutonium, when you wrote the script, I think the name Yuki you kind of took after the actual Yuki from Spacegodzilla.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because he has that cocky attitude, so it's that's
actually what it is.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily him, but it's kind of like a different version, but it's kind of the same. It's a weird thing. Like, this movie's not canon. It's not like we're making anything relate to it, but that's kind of the weird thing with this film is that it's kind of canon, but it's also not because... we can't say it's canon, but because we're not Toho. But I mean, it has references to the original Spacegodzilla film, but then it also kind of takes its own liberties and stuff like that. But here's but Richie just entered the scene with Steve Martin Jr. and I love seeing it. Like it's just so cool. But I remember
Steve's animations are insanely smooth.
Yeah. It's
in this scene, at least.
Something with the model, I think, as well. His model is actually different from the other two. If you can see Cousins and Amy, they're kind of like standard stock Half-Life 2 humans or models. But Steve Martin Jr., that model is not from Half-Life. It's like a completely different model, not even from a source game. So it kind of sticks out in a way. But... First, I think we should also talk about when you sent me the script as well. We had to heavily revise it because man, you had a lot of cussing and swearing in that one.
Obviously.
So what's hilarious is I still have the original voice recordings that we did, and it has all the swearing in it. So it'd be funny to release maybe later on a X-rated version of this film or something. But all right, and here we go. Here's Rob Rosado as Yuki, and I gotta say Yuki's my favorite character. He's just I freaking love it.
Yeah,
he's so cocky.
I don't know what it's about him. He's just. It's so a great
Also,
act.
I would say he's a fan favorite. I say he's probably, a lot of the people who like this series, he's probably their favorite.
Yeah.
But
ladies.
Yeah. So, I also just like his two co-pilots that are unnamed.
Unnamed co-pilot number 1.
There's also 2 cameos by us in the film.
Yeah.
But you'll have to keep an ear out for that when you actually watch the film. I know some people have figured it out, but I always like to kind of keep it a mystery.
Yeah.
And this was also a new character. Well, actually, we added 2 new monsters. Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah, which was a big deal for us. We were so stoked to get this model, and we're like, oh my god,
hyped.
we gotta do this. Like, we gotta have Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah, because we didn't just want to have King Ghidorah. We didn't want to have Mecha King Ghidorah because it'd be too predictable, or well, not predictable, but it would just be like uninspired. So we're just like, this would make it stand out to have Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah in it.
And Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah wasn't even originally like in the film. It was supposed to be Kiryu.
That's right. I remember. Yep, that's right. And then Godzilla Jr., of course, right there with the pink dorsal plates. So Godzilla's son.
A lot of people actually mistaken Godzilla Jr. for Godzilla 2000. I don't know why.
Well, because they look at it as the model only, and they think, oh, it's Godzilla 2000. But we're using the models, but they're our own label. Like, we're, just because we're using the Godzilla 2000 model doesn't mean that that's Godzilla 2000.
Actually, that isn't the Godzilla 2000 model. I had that MMD Charizard actually, like,
oh my
customize
god,
the skins.
That's
to
right.
Make it.
I forgot to mention, MMD Charizard was the original animator. He was the original intended animator for this whole film, because originally the whole film was going to be done in MMD, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So and halfway through production, MMD had to leave because he felt like he couldn't give it that serious tone that we were looking for. And this is what I talked about in the last video where the World Apocalypse commentary, that when we started production with Return to Spacegodzilla, we were not serious about it. Once again, we had the kind of mentality that we did with World Apocalypse. We just kind of were like, let's have fun with it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so, of course, MMD was on board with that. But then when we started to see the animation, we started to get the voice acting, because when I did recordings for the voice cast, it was done months before we got serious about it. And that's why we had to make like script changes as well, because we were getting more serious. And when that happened, MMD was like, okay, well, look, I don't really feel like I can do this movie justice, like, because MMD Charizard, he does a lot of comedy videos. That's more of his skill, or like his
like forte.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the word.
Yeah. So sadly he had to leave, but it was okay. We just scrambled really quick, but it was a good thing, because one door closed, another door opened, and we got James Myers to do the scenes that you're looking at right now, and it was just, it was fantastic. So
yeah, I know.
To quote Diego Doom, absolutely fantastic. So but it was it was great working with.
And I'll be honest, I'm surprised. At Diego Doom's performance, he I can't say in person because I've never met him in person, but like, I guess over communications of like Skype or Google Hangouts, he's a very upbeat person. He's always very positive, and the way he like pulls it off with Cousins is just mind blowing to me.
And that's the thing I love about Cousins, is that he just has, the way that Diego Doom performs, it's like he has this certain way of talking that no one else does. Like, that no one else has this way of talking. Like, it's only him. No one else talks like him. So I think it's really cool, because it gives him this I
think he has this like sophistication.
Yeah, it's just the way he talks, and I think it's awesome. It just gives the character his independence, from everybody else, and it's I love it. So also the story was a little bit more delved into. We did a little bit more with character development. Once again, I didn't write the script for this one. This was all Nico. So if you guys didn't like the film, you blame him, not me.
Oh, all right. So now we're pointing fingers now.
Yeah, we're gonna point fingers. But no, but it was pretty good, especially this scene. I really like this scene. It's very or heartfelt, touching moment of Cousins and Yuki with their friendship and all that. So. And then I guess we can talk about, while we were in production, came the time around G-Fest, and I decided, hey, how cool would it be to show this at the film festival at G-Fest, to premiere it for the first time. And it seemed like an impossible thing, But then I contacted Jeff Horn, which is the film festival's coordinator for G-Fest, and I remember when I contacted him, I said, "Hey, we have this film." I love how Amy just pops up. That was just hilarious.
Just flies out of nowhere.
But I remember contacting Jeff Horn. He said, "Yeah, cool. Well, we can do that." And the film wasn't even complete when I asked him that. Let's see, G-Fest was in July. And we're talking about in 2015, by the way.
We were what, March?
We were in like February, March, yeah. And we had another meeting, and I remember just going to the meeting and say, "Hey guys,
and listen, we were like done with the meeting. Like, I forgot what we met about. We were like done with the meeting, and then you brought it up at the end.
Yeah.
I think that was like crazy.
I was just like, so hey guys, would you be able to get this whole thing done in like 5 months?" And that, and I gotta say once again that the immense talent that it took to get this film done was just amazing. The fact that they were able to get this whole thing done before the deadline, because the deadline wasn't July. I remember it was, I think, May.
Yeah, the deadline was May.
May, June, July. So they actually had less time to get it done because Jeff Horn needed all these films in so that he could schedule them in. So, it was, and by the way, this film is double the runtime of World Apocalypse. So it has more, to do in it. So, and I gotta say, this final battle scene, I just love it. Like, I would love to see this film be done with tokusatsu. Like, I think that would just be great. But just the camera angles, the cinematography that Asusa did was I just freaking loved. Also, another fun fact is we didn't really choreograph the scenes in the script. No. We ultimately left it up to the animators to decide, like, here's how you want to do the battle, and it turned out amazing.
We did. I will say I did put in like minor choreographs in there. But just for major like parts.
Well, yeah, major moments. Yeah, major like parts that needed to happen. Exactly. But for instance, this most badass part that's gonna come up right
yes, I love this. It's so
we're gonna get really Showa here in a second.
Satisfaction.
We're gonna get really Showa. Here we go. Yeah, and boom. Oh my god. Just the best. Everyone in the audience at G-Fest who saw this, and if you were there, you remember the audience just went crazy. They were like, "Oh my god, they went there!" So it was pretty cool. But I also just love how we just grabbed Spacegodzilla like that and just tossed him. That totally like Destroy All Monsters Melee style, just whatever. But we shown it at G-Fest, and it was one of the most. It was like one of the crowning achievements of my life. Yeah, I will never forget being able to, show something finished and actually show it to an audience. And it was just like one of the best moments ever. Super proud of that moment. So, and Nico, you're going to be at next year's G-Fest so that you can premiere Rather the Hybrid with me, because I ain't going to be alone this time.
In fact, I am.
But yeah, so I think we're getting close to the end of the film. Yeah, we're at... we got like a good 6-7 minutes left, actually.
See, now this part where Godzilla just like growling, everyone thinks Godzilla's about to like kick his ass, and then out of nowhere, Godzilla gets his ass.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Asusa was brutal. Godzilla gets effed up. I like that.
And like, you think Godzilla's gonna kick ass? No, he gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, kicked his knee in right there, strangling him with his tail. It's just such cool imagery too. Like, I just, oh my god,
I don't know how he did some of that. Like, I don't know where he came up with like the ideas on like how he was gonna pull that off.
Oh, and then actually another funny thing, the whole thing of this film, like the fact that Spacegodzilla is the enemy. I think, wasn't it like we had when we were coming up with a sequel or something? I just told you, can we have like Spacegodzilla come back? And then it happened. Like, was that your intended sequel to have Spacegodzilla there, or did you have another like idea, like another monster?
I remember getting hyped up about World Apocalypse and how quote unquote great it was. And I was like, screw it, dude. You helped me do this, so I'm gonna put like two of your favorite characters, which was originally Kiryu and Spacegodzilla.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously Kiryu got cut.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd say Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah was a way better choice.
Oh yeah, he
So
wasn't cliche.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, Space Godzilla. I mean, the whole point of this movie basically happened because I said, "Hey, I want Space Godzilla to come back," and there we go.
I know.
So, but yeah, I think, and then in Wrath of the Hybrid, you actually get your favorite monster in
Yes,
there.
I
So,
do.
which for those of you who have seen the trailer, you might know who it is, but we won't say just cause. But yeah, I just also the practical effects here. Well, not really practical effects, but the special effects, the
Yeah.
VFX were just. I mean, it's so cool, especially like the lasers coming out of Hyper Mega King
Yeah.
Ghidorah's mouth like that. It's so cool.
I love the grapples though. That's the
Yeah,
best.
that was a good touch. That was a really good touch of fanfare right
Yeah.
there. Or I guess fan service or something. I don't know. But see, once again, you think they're going to win, but then Space Godzilla just decides to, no, I'm going to just kick your ass and just
Yeah.
totally decimates Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah here. Also, I guess on the more of a negative note with the film, a lot of stuff had to be rushed and cut
Yeah.
because of the fact that we had to show it at G-Fest. So it got to the point where, we kind of had to just like get it done. Oh yeah, this part. You get stabs right there. Yeah. But there was the point where we're like, yeah, we kind of have to get it done now because people are expecting it to be shown at G-Fest, and so it was a very interesting ride with the production of this whole film because it started out not being serious, and then at the end of it being taken completely serious, with still having fun, of course.
Oh yeah.
But having a more emphasis on let's try to make actually something really cool, compared to just kind of like this childish fan film or whatever.
Yeah.
And then with Wrath of the Hybrid, it's a complete serious, like we've planned it, staged, everything is, so it's a way better production than what this was. But I still gotta say, for what we had with a $0 budget, the fact that we made this happen is just, I mean, I love it. Like the fact that this is a thing that exists is just awesome. So
I know. It's so cool.
yeah. Oh. So I think I've sort of ran out of things to talk about, but
I mean, I guess you could question Godzilla's Junior's power on this. I mean, like,
yeah, some people thought Mothra had something to do with this because of the little like glowy thing, and then just like, but what it was Godzilla when his father is like dying, his radiation is pouring out, and it gives his son the strength to finish him off. So
and I'm honest. People were disappointed that Space Godzilla was gotten rid of like that quickly.
Yeah, that was one of the rushed things, unfortunately. Space Godzilla's death.
But honestly, you could even see it as like a good thing, just a build up inside Godzilla Jr. of like, you killed my father, you're gonna pay.
Exactly. So there would have been a longer fight, but it just kind of due to having it needed to be done, it just kind of got kind of rushed.
I don't think really many more films like Godzilla fan films have scenes like this.
Yeah, they really touch like this scene. I mean, holy crap! Like just grab my heart and rip it out.
Yeah.
So and for this tune, I remember we went back and forth between like the Requiem from Destroya or 84 where he falls in the volcano. That like the theme for this, but we decided with one that not a lot of people talk about, which was the one where he's a Godzillasaurus in King Ghidorah where he dies.
Yeah.
And it's like that sad music, and I thought that fit perfectly with this.
I know, because it's not like, because we went back and forth with you, because the Requiem, it's very graceful. It's very graceful. It's kind of like easing away the pain. 84. I forget. I think we said that was like very graceful too. This one was just kind of dark.
Well, I mean, it's just, I think the other reason why is that it's not overplayed. Everyone plays Requiem. Everyone plays it.
Yeah.
Also, I now looking back at it, I really hate the way it just ends like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a very harsh
That's a
cut.
dick move.
Yeah. But
I mean, I guess it could be. It's a very dick cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of the cool thing with all these films is that they're kind of like the Heisei movies, where yes, they're all like in a series and sequels, but they also kind of stand on their own. Like they are a beginning, middle, end. It's not like we cut things to like, it's not like we're making the first one to set up the second one. We make the first one, we made it. We make the second one, we made it. We connect them, but we also make them their own individual films as well.
Yeah.
And then you see all the tracks that we used. There was a shit ton of tracks that we used, but I'd say it was a pretty good assemble of tracks, making everything sound really good.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's we got like a minute left on this film. But yeah, guys. That was pretty much it. That was the Return of Spacegodzilla from the Kenshin era trilogy fan film thingy that we are doing. So once again, guys, we hope you're very excited about Wrath of the Hybrid, because we're working very hard on it. It's coming together well, and it's just, I mean, we can't wait to show you guys what we have in store. I mean, it's gonna be pretty awesome.
Like, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be saying a pretty bold statement. I think it might be the Godzilla fan film of the year. Like,
okay, well that's on you, not me. I didn't say that. Nico said that,
and, like,
not
me. People can criticize it. Like, I don't care. There's gonna be critics out there, but I just think the amount of work we're putting in is just incredible. Like, it's outstanding.
Yep. But yeah, guys. So that's pretty much it. We got like 10 seconds left, but
all right,
that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay big, G fans.
Later.